Hey guys, Prepared Wanderer out at the park today with my friend Z, and we're going to do a product review for you on the Onewind Hammock system. Just not the hammock, the complete system. That means Underquilt and Tarp. So stick around. Alright guys, so if you watch my videos, you know that I love hammocks. I've been sleeping in hammocks for years. I've had quite a few different ones over the years. My most recent one was a Grand Trunk Double, and I used that for a long time. Well, I found a new hammock system that I was really pumped about when I started seeing reviews on this, and there's some good reviews out there on YouTube, so check them out. But definitely check out Onewind and their website because you're going to be impressed. This is a company that is selling not just a hammock, but they're selling a complete system, and I think that's the big game changer, is that they're selling all the components you need, and these things come ready right out of the box with all the stuff you need, and you don't have to think about it. You don't have to go purchase extra things if you don't want to. You can customize it if you want to. It's up to you. So let's get into the review. So the first thing we have here, this is the Underquilt, and this is, I believe this is rated from 35 to 55 degrees. That's the comfort range. As you can tell, this thing has shock cord adjustment all the way around. Shock cord adjustment up here where it attaches to the actual hammock itself. And if you notice over here, there are buttons built into this. You're probably wondering, what are those for? Well, the buttons will actually button into another Underquilt that they sell, so you can actually double the rating of this and go even colder. Now, last night I slept in this hammock and it got down to about 28 degrees. Definitely chilly for sure. And having good gear to sleep in is so important, and I was super comfortable in this setup. The Underquilt really did a good job of keeping my backside warm, keeping that cold air from circulating across my back, blowing across my back, and I was able to cinch this thing up nice and tight so I really didn't get any pockets of cold air going in. Also, along the edge of this Underquilt, there are little gaps that you can take a carabiner and carabine that, attach that to your hammock, so it helps it keep it level and even with the actual hammock itself, so this thing isn't constantly sliding under. I've had other Underquilts from bigger, more expensive manufacturers, and that was always an issue. The Underquilt would be shifting around, it wasn't staying where it was supposed to. So for me, this one is perfect. It stays where it's supposed to, and it did what it was supposed to. So another thing with this is that the material that they're using is a DuPont insulation, and I'm going to put specs down below so you guys can see that, and there'll also be stuff in the caption, so I'll have the specific names of everything with the ratings and all that stuff, and you can look that stuff up yourself. But this DuPont insulation did a really nice job. It is not down, so you know, it's not the lightest Underquilt in the world, but for what I do and the type of camping I do, it was perfect. Okay, moving on to the hammock. This is an 11-foot, 68-inch wide double hammock. It is a hexagon ripstop nylon. So far from using it, the sewing seems to be pretty decent. Haven't really seen any issues with any missed stitches or sloppy stitching. It seems to be very consistent and good. Like I showed before, there are tabs built in so you can actually attach this to your Underquilt, which is just a great feature. Another thing that is awesome about this hammock is it actually comes with all the stuff you need to hang it. So it came with the organizer pocket installed, ready to go. Put my phone, my keys in there. It came with a structural ridge line, which is adjustable. It came with a double-ended stuff sack, so you can attach this thing to the tree without having this thing hit the ground and get dirty. it came with the straps and the cord already attached, ready to go. And these cinch buckles that they have on here did not slip at all last night. There was no slipping whatsoever. Sometimes you get that with the buckles. You know, I'm a bigger guy, so you definitely want a suspension system that's going to be locked in and not going to move around on you. You don't want to worry about hitting the ground. This did a fantastic job. You know, the whole system is not the lightest hammock system in the world, so you know, if you're backpacking, you may want to look at other stuff, but for the type of camping I do, it's perfect. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that it actually comes with a bug net installed, ready to go. Now, this is the slip-on kind, so there's a gathered end with a cord lock, so I can cinch that down when it gets hot and buggy out. And then I can move this down the ridge line, cinch it up on the other end. The entry is a bottom entry. Let's see if I can find the entrance for that. There's that. So you can cinch that up as well. And that'll close it off. So you don't have to keep the bug net on here in the wintertime. I'll probably take it off here when I get home and keep it off for the season, and then put it back on in the summertime when I need it. But for now, I just left it on here so you guys could see this. But I mean, if you want to leave it on, I just pushed it off the side. It's out of the way. Not a big deal. It works out pretty well. Okay, another thing that I purchased with this system, and I purchased separately, is the tarp. And what's nice about this tarp is that it's a sill nylon tarp. It's 12 by 9, so it's generous size. It fits over the hammock. It covers the ends, so you're not going to get drip onto your hammock. But just like everything else with Onewind, it comes with all the stuff. So you get a set of these knot bones for tensioners. You get cordage for additional tie-outs. If you don't want to use these for the tarp, you don't have to. They are additional, but tarp itself has elastic cordage with these little carabiners built in, and it also comes with, we're going to take a look at this down here, it comes with stakes ready to go. So the reasoning behind the elastic shock cord for the tie-outs is that if you get into heavy wind, this thing's going to give a little bit. It's not going to rip the stakes out or rip your tarp. It gives it some flexibility, but it's still tight enough to keep it taut. Now, the only thing that I've done to this is I'm using a different ridgeline system. I'm pretty happy with a continuous ridgeline, so that's what I use for my setup. I'm using some Dyneema cord, but it does come with enough cordage that you can set up the ridgeline on its own. It's not going to be continuous through the entire length of the tarp. It's just going to be on the ends. That's why I like the continuous, because the continuous actually offers you a little bit of protection. So if something falls out of the trees, hits the top of your tarp, that ridge line is actually going to help that branch or whatever bounce a little bit and keep it off of you. So to me, it's just extra protection, plus it's just another place to hang stuff. Also, another set of tie-outs right here, and then what you can do here is you can tie off your line to this, take this corner, bring it in, attach it to the other side, and create a door. Now you have wind protection when it gets colder, windier, maybe there's light pollution coming through, it's bugging you at night, you can close off the end. Also, these tabs that are sewn in, and there is nice box stitching on these, and there is a tab loop at the bottom and a tab loop at the top. There's also the same thing at the top of the ridgeline. You got tab loops top and bottom here, either side, so you can run your ridgeline through that. Or if you want to use this as a ground shelter, you can hang it from a tree. You got that option. Okay. Alright, so 68 inches, what I told you. Look how wide that thing is. I mean, there is a lot of room. And of course, you got to get in it. I always ease into my hammock. I don't plop down on it. I've learned my lesson the hard way, and I've went over the back. That was a newbie mistake. So you definitely want to ease into it. And once you get in here, you grab the sides, balance yourself, swing your feet up. Plenty of room. And this is wide enough that I can stick my feet over on this side and then twist my body for a diagonal lay. All in all, just a great system. I will have links down below. Check those out. I will have prices. You guys can check that out. I will say one thing about the Onewind website, and this is kind of what sold me on this hammock system, is that their website is so well organized and put together that I was able to very quickly figure out what information I needed for each item and research it real quickly, see what I needed, put it in my cart, and go. Sometimes these I've found with some of these hammock websites, they're confusing. They have way too many products, way too many options, and I think for a newbie getting into hammock camping, you look at it and you're overwhelmed immediately. It's like, okay, what hammock do I need? What suspension do I need? What tarp should I use? What underquilt should I use? Well, Onewind really makes it simple. It's all right there. They don't have a lot of excess stuff. You know, it's a couple options for each item that you can pick from, and then you can mix and match and build your system. And I just went with the whole shebang. I bought everything that I needed instead of shopping around to different companies, and I'm really glad I did. It's been a good option for me. I'm really looking forward to using this more throughout the year. Like I said, it kept me super warm. How can I complain about that? Very comfortable. Probably one of the most comfortable hammocks I've slept in a long time. Really enjoyed it. So check Onewind out. As always, thanks for watching the channel, and we will see you next time on The Prepared Wanderer.